You ever notice how in today's world, being wrong doesn't even matter anymore? What matters is who did it first. And that right there is the problem. Welcome to the Culture Check. Let's talk about this mindset that's everywhere right now. This idea that if someone does something wrong, then it's okay for your side to do it too. People call it fighting fire with fire. But let's be honest, what we're really doing is pouring gasoline on everything. Think about politics right now. Gerrymandering, district maps being drawn to benefit one party, laws being pushed not because they're right, but because they give an advantage. And when one side gets called out, the response is almost automatic. It's, yeah, but they did it first. Yeah, but they're doing it too. Yeah, but if we don't do it, we lose. So now, it's not about doing what's right. It's about making sure your side doesn't fall behind. And that shift, that's dangerous. Because when you justify wrong just because someone else did it, you're not standing on principles anymore. You're standing on positioning. And once that happens, you've already lost something bigger than the argument. You've lost your integrity. Here's the reality. Fighting fire with fire doesn't put the fire out. It spreads it. Because now the other side looks at you and says, see, they're doing it too. Now we have to go even harder. And the back and forth, it goes on and on and on until nobody even remembers what the original issue was. If you think this is just a theory, look at what's happening right now across different states. We see ongoing battles over district maps being redrawn in ways that heavily favors one party. Laws being passed that shape who can vote, how they vote, and how easy it is to vote. Political leaders choosing their voters instead of voters choosing their leader. And here's the part that should concern all of us. Both sides justify it the exact same way. I'm just going to bluntly say this. That's not leadership. That's strategy over service. Because at some point you have to ask, are these decisions being made to serve the people who voted? Are these decisions being made to serve the people who voted them in? Or to secure power for the next election? And it doesn't stop there, y'all. We are also seeing environments where people feel pressure about how they should vote. Afraid to speak up politically. Labeled, attacked, or dismissed if they disagree. Whether that's online, in communities, or even certain local spaces. That kind of atmosphere, it doesn't protect democracy, it weakens it. And let me be clear, this is not a one side versus the other side issue. This is a culture issue. Because the moment we accept win at all costs is the moment we stop asking what's right for the people. When leaders focus more on controlling outcomes than representing voices, the people they were elected to serve, it becomes secondary. And that goes back to the idea of fighting fire with fire. Because now, instead of fixing the system, we're just taking turns manipulating it and calling it justified. And I get it. Nobody wants to feel like they're the only one playing fair in a game where everyone else is cheating. That is frustrating. That feels like you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. But if the only way to win is to become what you claim to be against, then what did you actually win? At some point, we have to ask, are we trying to win or are we trying to be right? Because those are not always the same thing. You can win an argument and still lose your character. You can gain power and still damage the system. If both sides abandon principle, then principle doesn't exist anymore. So what's the answer? It's not easy because it requires something most people don't want to do. And that's hold your side accountable. Not just the other side, your side. The people you agree with, the people you voted for, the people who you let represent you. Real change doesn't happen when you only call out your opponent. It happens when you demand better from your own team. So the next time you hear, well, they did it first, pause and then ask yourself, does that actually make it right? Or does it make it easier to justify? Because if we keep normalizing this mindset, we're not fixing the culture. We're reinforcing the problem. And eventually, we won't even recognize what right looks like anymore. This has been a Culture Check, where we don't just react to culture. We question it. See you next time. Peace.